Hey there guys, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you're all doing well. Folks, the mountains have been calling my name and I had to answer. I have arrived here at Lone Wolf Mountain and it's time to do a bushcraft overnight adventure. It's pretty cold this morning. It's about 22 degrees Fahrenheit, so yeah, I mean it's cold, but it's not super cold by any means. It's also very, very windy. The winds are rocking about 25-30 miles an hour. We're in a sheltered spot right now. The winds are going to kick up big time tonight. They say around 50 miles an hour plus. Also, temperatures are going to drop. It's going to be about 10 degrees in the morning. And to top it all off, we have somewhat of a winter storm coming in. There's going to be some snow. How much? Nobody really knows. So I'm not expecting a whole lot, maybe just a dusting, but it's going to be enough. And when you factor in the winds, that we're going to need to build a pretty good shelter. But we can't spend all day building this thing. When it comes to bushcraft shelters, if you're going to make one that's permanent, that you're going to use multiple times, you spend a lot of time making it. If you're going to just throw something up really, really quickly to protect yourself from the elements, very similar to a survival situation. You can't spend a lot of time on it. You have to move fast. So that is what we are going to do. We're going to move fast with this shelter. So with that being said, let's walk around the property, let's check things out, let's see what we can find that will cut our shelter building time in half. Basically, we're looking for natural elements which we can use for cover. We might add to them, I don't know. Let's take a look around. Huh. Now this is definitely a possibility. Huh. A large rock outcropping like this. Yeah, we could definitely use something like this for our shelter. Now the negative element to this shelter using this right here is that this is facing the western side, and that's where the winds come in. So with any potential snowfall, you have those winds slamming against this rock, you're going to have all that stuff flying right in. Now, we could build a wall, make a wall. Basically a lean-to, maybe a debris lean-to, block out the wind, block out the snow. That's one thing that we can do. Another thing is that we have lots of these rock overhangs, these outcroppings on the property here on Lone Wolf Mountain. So let's keep walking around. Let's see what else we can find. Well, we have another one. I don't know. This one's okay. Except for that right there. Does anybody know what that is? Well, that's option 2. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on looking. Now, as I'm hiking along here, I do have to make a point to go slow because I have this heavy pack. I have multiple layers. If I get hot, if I start to sweat, I could be in big trouble. With the temperatures down in the lower 20s right now, getting sweaty is a bad idea because your layers, they won't necessarily evaporate your moisture, they will freeze. And that is definitely a bad thing, especially when it's going to get as cold tonight as they're forecasting. I'm right at that point where I'm about to really start sweating. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take most of these insulating layers off. Whew. So I could just cool down for a minute. I was right at that point where I was about to start sweating. That is not what I want to do when it's this cold. So here we have another rock outcropping. A very good size overhang. This thing is huge. and it will make an absolutely awesome shelter for tonight. We're not on the western side of this mountain. We're more on the northwestern side. So instead of the winds coming in like this, just like the other rock outcroppings, the wind's coming in like this. As you can see there, it's getting dark. The clouds are coming in. All right, well, that didn't take long. Now I'm getting cold. Now, typically, when I do a bushcraft overnight adventure, I record a lot of detail when it comes to, gathering all of my supplies and materials. But with this trip, this is going to be a little bit different because filming all this stuff really slows me down. So I'm gonna film just a little bit and really just start putting this thing together. I don't have a whole lot of time to waste because snow can begin falling at any time. So I'd rather make sure that I have a nice shelter set up where I'm protected, where I can film. That's the most important thing. Now you may be wondering, Luke, what is this gigantic pack? This is the FILBE pack. It's an absolute monster. It really is. The thing is huge. It can hold a ton of stuff. If I remember correctly, this is like 110 liters, something like that. Now, inside of the sleeping bag compartment down here at the bottom, I have the modular sleep system. Oh yes. The reason why I'm using that is because I will have a fire that's fairly close. This is a very inexpensive sleep system. It also handles cold temperatures like what I'm going to be facing tonight very well. You have the patrol bag, you have the intermediate bag, so yeah, absolutely. It's a great system to use. The Sven saw it's awesome. It really is. It's a great piece of kit. I love that form factor. I mean, you could slide this in virtually any backpack and it's going to fit nice and easy. Also, it's an excellent performer. The only negative to the saw is that the blades are almost as expensive as the saw itself, but you guys have seen this saw for many years. I have lots of different saws, but this one's my favorite one. This setup is going to be a partial lean-to, partial natural shelter setup. So, yeah, just going to gather my supplies, my materials, sticks, bark, whatever. That's not bad. I'm off to a pretty good start already. We have a pretty good pile of wood there. Woo! Man, that's cold. Now later on tonight, I'm going to show you an easy way to have a source of heat for most of the night, as long as you have a product similar to this. On those wicked cold nights, like tonight, oh man, it is going to be really, really nice. Okay, keep on going. I have collected a lot of wood. Is it enough? Probably not. When it comes to a shelter like this, you'll be surprised at just how much material you really need. And just how much time it really takes. So, I have this pile of wood here. I also have this pile of wood here. All right, everyone. Well, the shelter is basically done. It's as done as I could possibly get it in the short amount of time that I had. Looks like we have snow coming in now. Whew. It's spitting a little bit, The mountain over here is completely whited out.
You can see that over there. There's actually a mountain in that. But since it's snowing, can't really see it.
We'll go back down here and I'll show you all my shelter for the night. So, do you guys want to see this shelter? Well, take a look.
Not too shabby. Here's the other side. You can see this board right here, that board right there. I actually found those down in the dirt, kind of covered up. Maybe they flew down here during a windstorm, I'm not sure.
All right. Whew. This is not bad. Not bad at all. Now, I tell you what, this is doing an amazing job of blocking the wind. Like I said, the winds are really rocking. They've definitely been rocking probably around 35, 40. And this is blocking 98% of the wind. This really is a quick and dirty shelter. You throw it up as fast as you can, you get out of the wind, you get out of the snow. It's perfect for an overnight bushcraft trip. It's awesome for survival because when you're in a survival situation, you don't pay attention to shows like Dual Survivor and Bear Grylls and all that stuff, because what they don't tell you is that they have a whole crew of people helping them build those shelters, and they put it up in what looks like 5 minutes. If you don't believe me, go out, try building a shelter yourself and see exactly how much time that it really takes. This shelter right here has taken about 2 hours to build, and I just ran into the woods, grabbed a bunch of stuff as fast as I could, threw this thing up because I knew that snow was coming in. So, yeah, I mean, really, in 2 hours, this is impressive. It is time for lunch. There's actually a little bit of snow in the air. How about that? It's a good dry snow, too. Whew. I am without a doubt hungry. I have a bag here with all sorts of food, all sorts of goodies. Oh my God, that's cold. I think over the next couple of hours, it's going to be snow squall after snow squall after snow squall. Hopefully it'll start coming down, maybe get things a little bit white. Now, like I said before, they're not really calling for a lot of snow with this. This is going to be real quick. Now, you may be wondering what jacket that I have on here. This is a United States military Gore-Tex jacket. I had a video on this before, and I believe I called it something along the lines of like Gore-Tex protection on the cheap or something like that. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description box. In that video, don't give me a whole lot of crap. I was smoking a cigar. One of the viewers, I had started the Military Surplus Wednesday sort of thing, and one of the viewers sent in a cigar to me, and I appreciate it. The truth is, I tried smoking it, and I just didn't really care for it all that much. The dang thing is like that long, it's super huge, and it burned forever. Apparently with cigars, they burn for like 10 hours. I really don't know. I'm not big on that stuff. Anyways, this is an awesome jacket. I also had the Gore-Tex pants to go with it, so I can be fully protected if I need to be, so I can still run around out here in the snow. Yes, I do like tuna. I do like fish. That's why I eat it all the time. Even though tuna does, they say that tuna has a lot of mercury in it. I don't know. Who knows? I'm a big fan of just easy to eat meals just like this. So I don't have to stop very long. I don't have to really prep for it. I could just eat it and go. It's about to start snowing pretty good. Just about everything is white now. The sky, all these hills and mountains. This jacket here, I tell you what folks, is an incredible value. Fully waterproof, it's 100% windproof, great for the snow just like this. It really is awesome. I believe I got this on eBay, super cheap. Take a look on there for it. Burger. I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll go walking around a little bit. Well, 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 what to do now? That really is the question. Now, I really do need to begin preparing for my fire. That's how I'm going to boil my water. That's how I'm going to cook my dinner. The question really is, where do I do it at? To be honest, I mean, there's not going to be any place that's 100% wind-free. We'll gather some rocks for my fire pit and then figure out where to put the thing here in just a minute. I think this place here is as good as any other. Just a makeshift wall. I'll sit right here, have my firewood over here, be able to boil my water, do whatever I gotta do. That's about as good as it's gonna get for this situation. Whew. It is definitely windy. I doubt I'm going to be sitting around a fire for long tonight. So, tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and start gathering some firewood, get that out of the way. Yeah, get everything set up for dark. All right, well, it's actually snowing pretty good. The ground's starting to get white. I've been going around looking for wood. I have a pretty good pile now. But as I was going through the woods there, I saw probably, I don't know, 40, 50 turkeys flying, taking off. I spooked them. Also, while I was running around, I found some tinder. I had this in my pocket, my jacket. I'm gonna throw it here in the corner so it stays nice and dry. Guess I'll go back, collect some more wood. Now, when it comes to winter camping, there are a number of things that you really have to be mindful about. One is your protection from the environment naturally. 2 is your insulation, basically keeping you warm. 3, you need to stay dry. Getting wet, soaking with sweat, getting wet from snow, whatever else, that is a killer. So remember those 3 biggies right there. Shelter, insulation, staying dry. In my videos, I do a lot of things that some consider to be dangerous. So if you're not comfortable going out in a situation like this, where the temperatures are cold, snow's flying, start slow. You know, you don't have to go out in the middle of nowhere to start your trip. Start slow. That is my best advice. Tiptoe into it. Don't jump into the middle of the lake. You'll be all right. Woo! It's coming down. It will be dark pretty soon, so I'm going to fill up my water here. Like I said, I'm going to fill up my canteen, and then I'm going to get a fire going, and I'm going to boil it. Then basically I'm going to sit this to the side, let it cool down just a little bit, and by the time I go to bed, I should be able to cuddle up with this and stay toasty warm. I'm trying not to tear up this camera while recording out in the snow. Easier said than done, let me tell you. Gosh, this Gore-Tex, whew, does a good job of blocking the snow and the wind, but it also keeps the heat in. We collected the water, now it's time to boil it, which means it's time to get a fire going. Basically what I want to do here is boil my water, eat dinner, and then hop inside of the shelter there and just kick back for the rest of the evening. It is cold. When we got here this morning, it was, I don't know, 19 degrees, 20 degrees, something like that, and the temperatures have dropped quite a bit already. Here is all of that bark that we gathered earlier. Just kind of kneaded it up. I love this stuff. It's so hair-like. Sparks just latch to it. Now you may be wondering, or thinking to yourself, man, Luke shouldn't have this fire so close to these gigantic rocks. And the truth is, it's absolutely fine. It really is. The general rule for caves and overhangs like this is that you do not get the rocks hot. What happens then, if there's any water inside of that, it evaporates, expands, it can crack, it can fall on you, it can kill you. That's what you have to worry about. Now, the truth is, the odds of getting a rock like this hot, virtually impossible unless you had a humongous fire. And that's not what we are going to do. Speaking of caves, it is windy. Speaking of caves though, don't light a fire inside of a cave unless it's extremely cold. You may be wondering, Luke, why is that? Now, if it's not cold, it will begin to rain on you. And it's not water, it's bugs, spiders, bugs of all sorts and sizes. Smoke rises, bugs don't like smoke, they will just fall down right on top of you. It's horrendous. Don't do it. That's a pretty good nest right there. Okay, see all that dust coming out of it, nice and dry. Now once I ignite this will burn super fast. We will burn through our wood incredibly quickly because of the wind. Okay. Oh, that feels so good. Whew. Golly. Now that's a fire that feels awesome. It's going to burn super duper fast because this wind is just going crazy. So constantly, I'm gonna have to feed this fire right around my canteen. Without a doubt, this is requiring my full attention. So I'm gonna focus on this. I'll bring you all back once that water is boiling.
Mission accomplished.
The water is taken care of, so we're good for cooking. We're good for staying warm tonight. Basically, I have a small towel, which I will wrap around that when I go to bed, and I'm gonna carry that inside of my sleeping bag and just kind of cuddle up with it, and I will sleep nice and warm for a very long time. That much water will basically insulate itself. Now with the fire, I'm just gonna put it out. I'm gonna let it go out. Even though I think everybody likes playing with a smoking stick though. The heat of this fire feels amazing, but it's just too uncontrollable. I'm not worried about starting a fire or anything, but gosh, it's just all over the place. This wind is just circulating around us. I was thinking about having some coffee, but I'm afraid that it would keep me up all night. And the fact that I really can't have a fire unless I want to play Ring Around the Rosie and just, you know, hop from one side to the next with the wind. I think I'm just going to have some tea, turn in nice and early, since I can't sit around a fire, and just get some Z's, enjoy listening to the wind. It is rocking, that's for sure. Now, I do have a story to tell you, and we'll wait until we're eating. That feels good, that hot water. Oh my gosh, yeah. I have a real Termat meal that one of the viewers sent in. He sent in a whole case of these things. They're so awesome. The best freeze-dried meals I have ever had. They rock. Also, I have some pistachios. I really can't say that word very well. I love these things. They are awesome. Usually go 2 at a time. Oh yeah, they are delicious. You have the shell. You suck on that for a little while. It's like roasted, it's kind of salty. Then you use your teeth to break them apart. Spit out the shell. Spit out the other half. And and then you eat that little green nut. That is so good. I mentioned that I had a story. And I definitely do. It's pretty wild. Now, viewer discretion is advised for this story because it's pretty graphic. I also will be showing some photos that are, again, very graphic. So if you have young children, you may want them to, I don't know, go to the bathroom, run off to the kitchen, get a snack or something, and you can tell them to come back later. Now, the other night, it was my brother and I and my son, and we were out for a night walk, and it was blisteringly cold. And so we decided that we were going to start off with just a short jog, just to kind of warm up, because it was super windy, super cold. So we're running, and we can hear this commotion up ahead of us. And it sounds like growling, snarling, some high-pitched noise. And immediately, we turn on the headlamp, full blast, and down there are a pack of coyotes, and they have killed a deer. So the pack of coyotes, they just scattered to the wind. They just took off. But yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Now the truth is, that's nature for you. I mean, coming upon a kill site is pretty common in these parts. Running up on the animals actually doing the killing is something else. I guess they were just so into it. Maybe the deer was screaming and they didn't hear us running down. I will show you pictures of that deer now, so if you don't want to see such things, please look away. As you can see there, pretty graphic. That's nature for you. It really is. I know everybody feels bad about the deer, but it really is just part of the food chain. It's how the world works. It's completely natural, normal. There's nothing mean or evil about it. That was just the little deer that couldn't get away. Oh my God. I cannot begin to tell you all just how good that smells. Absolutely awesome. Phenomenal. Oh man, that is amazing. It really is. Oh man. I cannot thank the viewer enough for sending this in. I really do appreciate it. That's a big sleeping system. So you take the intermediate bag, and then you take the green patrol bag, and just like that, you are in good shape. You're gonna stay nice and warm. All right, everyone. Well, I am now inside of the shelter, nice and protected from the wind, from the snow. Whew, I'm pretty dang tired, to be honest with you. Bushcrafting is not easy. It always takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and this definitely has. Now, the inside of our lean-to is 100% dry. I'm very impressed with this shelter. It really has done a great job. It's done what it was meant to do. Keep the snow out, block the wind. Done. Couldn't ask for more. Bushcraft shelters really do boil down to quick and dirty, or very long and drawn out. And this was a quick and dirty shelter. So my friends, I'm gonna crawl into the sleeping bags because I am freezing. It is time to zip up to my face so I can get nice and warm. You know, I really do appreciate you all joining me for these trips. Good night. Good morning, everyone. It is about 8 o'clock now. Last night was awesome. I got inside of the shelter around 6:30, and by 7 o'clock, I was fast asleep. I woke up around 2. A little bit confused. I thought it was like, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning. I figured the sun was about to come up, but no. So I ended up sleeping a really long time, about 12 hours. So I feel pretty dang good. According to my phone, the closest town to here is about 12 degrees. Well, we're about 1,000 feet higher than that, so it's probably around 7 or 8 degrees right now, so it's pretty cold. I've got the water on, heating up for some coffee. Oh, gosh. Woo, that's cold. The water in there it's full of ice. Luckily, I kept it inside of my sleeping bag, so I prevented it from freezing. Once I got it out, it started freezing up. That's okay. It's amazing how fast water will freeze when it gets this cold. Within a couple of minutes, you can have a problem. Now, last night, when I hopped in my sleeping bags, I put every bit of my clothing inside of my sleeping bag. I didn't sleep with my pants on, but I did keep them inside of the sleeping bags. I put my jacket inside of there as well. I also put on a fresh pair of socks. That way, when I get up in the morning, all of my clothes are toasty warm from my body heat, so I could just pull them on, get out. Usually the worst part about camping is getting out of your sleeping bag in the morning when you're really, really cold. So that helps out some. Once I turned in, it didn't snow anymore. Everything was nice and white, but the winds rocked so hard that every bit of the snow has blown away. And that's alright, that's how it goes sometimes. Speaking of those winds, wow, they were strong. It roared last night. At 2 o'clock when I woke up, it was pretty much over. It was calm. Right now there's a slight breeze, just enough to kind of chill you. But, yeah. I'm glad it's not windy like it was yesterday evening. Gosh. Now, for my coffee needs, I have some Taster's Nasty. It's been a while. Also, a viewer sent me some of this. Some sort of coffee something, not entirely sure. I figured that I would mix it in with this one. Give me a double dose, a double shot. Elevate my taste just a little bit. Cheers, my friends, cheers. Now, folks, have you all seen any good movies lately? Susan and I, we went and saw a movie, I don't know, last Friday or something like that. And it was The Revenant, which I have to say was an incredible movie. I really, really enjoyed it. I've never seen a movie like that before. For one thing, the cinematography, the views, the angles, everything was absolutely gorgeous. A lot of the filming was done in like one long take instead of like lots of little takes. I have to say that it was probably one of the most brutal movies I have ever seen. But I really, really enjoyed it. My father and my son, they went together and watched it. Thought it was amazing too. They loved it. My father, I don't know why, but he thought it was a Western. And when he walked out, he was telling my son that, he's like, that's not the movie I was expecting to go see. If you've seen The Revenant, you understand why that's funny. Oh, jeez. But that was an awesome movie. Go see it. Warning, it is incredibly violent. It's incredible. It's not, I wouldn't say it's gory, it's brutal. It's realistic, brutal violence. So, man, take that as you will. Great movie. This shelter did such a good job last night. I really am impressed with it. It really did. It blocked the wind, most of it. So, yeah, I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. When it was really snowing yesterday, everything was white. Everything was white except the inside of that shelter. So, it did what it was supposed to do. Anytime that I'm practicing bushcraft, I look for nature to make my life easier. And with an outcropping like this, it definitely did. You know, one thing that I mentioned about having a fire in caves was that you'd cause the spiders to drop. Well, once I had this fire going, I noticed that spiders were beginning to drop off of this rock as well. So keep that in mind, folks. If you don't like bugs, natural outcroppings like this, caves, may not be for you. Okay, well, the coffee's almost done. The sun is coming up. It's about time for me to go home and get to work. You know how that goes. All right. Whew. Let's get out of here. Whew. Folks, I want to say thank you very much for watching this overnight adventure. Thank you for joining me. It's always a blast. Until next time, take care, be well, strength and honor.